Hello, everybody. It is great to be on another live stream for the Visual Studio Code team. My name is Liam Hampton. I'm a senior cloud advocate on the Visual Studio Code Developer Tools advocacy team here at Microsoft. And today we've got a fantastic presentation and a fantastic live stream for you. So pop into the chat where you're joining from, say hello, be kind, ask some great questions, and let's just have a little bit of fun. So without further ado, I want to bring up Elio. Elio, can you pop up onto the screen? And we're going to be talking through Demo Time, which I believe is a fantastic Visual Studio Code extension, which you have helped create and maintain. So tell us where you're from, tell us what you do and what you're up to.
Hi, Liam. I'm Elio from Belgium. For the people that know Belgium, I live in the north part near Antwerp, very beautiful city. So a little bit biased there. Yeah, I've been a speaker for many years now. I think I started in 2011 or 12. And over the past years, I've done many different talks, and I had one pain point, and that's also why I started developing Demo Time. So
Love that.
my pain point was, if I go to a session or do a presentation and I'm going to do it again, I always lose my notes on where did I put them, how do I prepare my demos, when to do what, and that's what I wanted to solve there.
Absolutely love it. I mean, as somebody who does a lot of presenting and sort of a lot of conferences, workshops, that kind of stuff myself, I feel the pain. I absolutely feel the pain there. And I guess this is one way to really keep everything more inside like one single context, right? So inside Visual Studio Code, it keeps it all contained, keeps everything nice and kind of scripted to some regard. So that's pretty cool. So let's just jump into this, shall we? Bring up your slides, or should I say Visual Studio Code, and let's just see. I'm going to hand that over to you. So I'm going to be here.
Perfect.
Bring me up and we just have a chat about it.
Yeah, so slides, as you can see, it's Visual Studio Code. So I'm just going to use Visual Studio Code for the whole presentation with demos. So there's no context switching between PowerPoint and Visual Studio Code. This is also something I really don't like, when you see a presenter on stage and all of a sudden they open a wrong app by accident because they had multiple apps open. Now you just open one app and you can do everything straight from within that tool. So I'm going to take you through what Demo Time is, what Demo Time can do, and what it has to offer. And then later on, we can go and talk about the ins and outs. First of all, let's make it a little bit more interactive for the people that are attending, so that I get to know you better as well. There will be some polls. I think I created 4 of them. So if you go to this link, you will see a couple of polls popping up. They are not started yet. So you will be able to just go there, You will be able to log in, that's it. And then from the moment I'm going to ask questions, they will pop up over there. So let's jump in. So one of the things when you're doing talks, and definitely when you are going to do live coding talks, is it can be a struggle sometimes. And yeah, even the best people do the worst jobs on stage, because there is a factor that you don't really can contain, that is your stress level, things that are going wrong. Did you offer enough chickens to the demo gods and so on? So you always have to hope that everything goes all right. And on stage, you might also forget a couple of things. For instance, if I'm going to switch over to code, I already forgot to switch my font size, and you can see messages popping up. So all of that can already be a distraction for me, not knowing what I'm going to say next, because all of a sudden you lost your focus on what you were telling. So the first thing that I need to do now, let's wait. Let me put on disturb mode so that nobody's going to disturb me. Then switch my color theme over to a lighter theme, because that's better. And I think you get the idea. You need to switch your font settings and so on, so that everyone in the room can actually view it. Oh, is it not too big, or is it too small, and so on. So you need to start asking questions on something that you could already prepared straight up front. So this is where demo time starts. You can do all of that straight from the beginning. You script it once, and then you can actually continue doing that. So as a speaker, and I totally forgot to do something where I just saw live reactions, and I got something really cool. It's something new that I built. Let's see how this is going to work. So then we see live reactions on my screen from everyone. See, I lost already my focus, and now I need to rethink on what was I doing, or what was I presenting? Cool. Now you see live reactions straight on my screen. Fantastic. So this as a speaker can be really painful if you're losing your train of thoughts. And as an experienced speaker, you might overcome that. But as a beginner, it's like, oh, damn, now I really need to think about what I was doing. And yeah, you're losing some people in your audience. So you forget what you were doing, you forget what you were saying or showing or whatsoever, and maybe you just jump to the next thing, and so on. So probably that does sound familiar. And now the first poll is going to open. So had you ever had a demo or live coding that went wrong during a session? Is this something you see often, or is this something you say, I never do live coding sessions? So if there are attendees, feel free to join, and then we can see if there are people actually filling it in. If not, then we'll
I can straight up tell you, I can answer that question as well for you there, Elio. I have absolutely done a live coding demo, and it has definitely gone wrong for me.
I can see. And there's already one. That's already good. So yes, multiple times. And most of the time, you don't really know why things are going wrong. And then you need to find it out. And sometimes it can be fun seeing people trying it out live on stage, but then you lose time into knowing why. So going to the next one is demo time give you like a safety net around live coding, around live presentations, because it's a scripted way of doing presentations, where in PowerPoint, what you typically do is you prepare all your slides and you know, okay, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and that's the whole slides cadence that I'm going to talk about. But with a demo, it's a little bit different, because you need to open a file, put in code, then do this, then do that, run a build script, and so on. But this can all be automated by just scripting it. So the key benefits of scripting your demos is that you present them the way you present your slides. So you know, okay, what I'm going to show right now, this is just going to work because I already have tested it. It's a cadence that is going to work. The nice thing about it is as well that I can remain my focus on my audience, and I don't have to think how I'm going to type, because I'm the worst typing or typer live on stage, because if people look at me, it's like it's the first time that I touch the keyboard and all of a sudden I don't know where my keys are anymore. And I saw that with a lot of other people as well. But one of the main things that I also love about demo time is this. Do you know what this is?
Me, absolutely. I've got no idea what this is. This just looks
Okay.
like a design diagram.
Yeah, it's actually a diagram. I copied it, or I copied the image from online, but it's actually a template that you can use for your PowerPoint slide decks. So every slide has some setting the scene, key message, what you want to talk about, and so on. So this is your script of your presentation, what you're going to say, what the graph is on the slide, and so on. But yeah, you don't have anything for demos or from a slide to a demo and so on. So you need to write it yourself. But this is where demo time can help you, because you're going to script this, so it's already there. So the whole thing is there, and this is what you get with demo time these days. Is you get an overview of what the slides and the demos look like. So similar like you have within PowerPoint, you have a nice overview of, okay, I got my pitch deck. It got 29 demos, 25 slides, and in total 90 steps that I'm going to run. So my slides or my presentation started with preparing my environment settings. Then I move over to a slide where I'm doing an intro. The next thing is, let me make it interactive. That is where I shared the QR code. And then another slide going over to a demo and so on. So all of that is scripted. And this is the whole presentation that you're going to see right now. So next step was going back to a slide, and then I can start talking about this part. So another thing is that you don't have to rewrite everything or reset all your demos, because one thing that you can do with demo time is, as it's a script, you can just undo everything, and the next time you just start again straight from scratch. So it's for dry runs, it makes it so much easier because you have everything in one repository. You open the repository, you start, you're adding codes, and at the end you undo your changes and you can do the same presentation all over again. Makes it so much easier, so much more convenient, because if you're going to, I've already been at a conference where somebody is dropping out and they come around and they say, hey, Elio, hey, do you have a session? If so, can you do a presentation? And yeah, these things, it's so much easier if you already have something ready, and you can just say, okay, I got it. So I'm just adding it, or I'm just going on stage. I don't need to prepare anything. All my demos are there. I got my slides. So very nice, quick and easy to start. In demo time, you have 100% control of every single step. So anything that you can do within Visual Studio Code can be done with demo time. Demo time has a lot of actions, but if there is, for instance, a particular action not available, you can just use the commands from Visual Studio Code and you can start doing the rest of them. So for the next one is, and I see that there are already people filling it in. So how do you currently prepare your demos? Do you write it? Do you record them for a backup? Some people do it just out of their minds, really brilliant people, or maybe there's another way. I always did it in a notebook to make sure that I got everything. And then I went over to snippets. But then if I went to another laptop, then I lost my snippets. So I needed to find them again. So it was always a stress on, do I have everything that I need for this presentation? Nowadays, everything lives within my repository, and I can just start from that repository. So much easier. So in this case, what I'm going to do right now is I start with a blank new file, and I'm going to write code. And how I'm going to write code is I'm just going to press next on my keyboard. So if I press next, there I'm writing. But during the talk, I can just talk over. I can just say, yeah, I'm writing two functions. These two functions do X, Y, Z, and so on. Another part that demo time can be used for is highlighting. So I want to highlight this particular function because it's so good. There's so funny commit messages in it that I want to show you that this is something you need to focus on. And you can also set some other settings like blurring the other lines. So at the bottom, the OS joke, you see that it's a little bit blurred. So that's easier for you, but also for your audience to just focus on that particular thing that you're highlighting. If you're really a good person with Zoom It, you can also use Zoom It there, but this makes it so much easier than saying, yeah, I just wanted to show these lines. Oh, no, it's these lines. So highlighting like this, yeah, that doesn't really work. What you can also do is you can also highlight here, and then you have some toggles. So you can say, hey, this one is for toggling the previous highlighted lines. And if I'm saying I want to highlight these, then I can just say, hey, I want to highlight these lines. So still during your talk, you have some tools there available to highlight whatever you want live on stage. If somebody asks a question on it, what does this array do? And then you can say, oh, this array is going to do this. I'm just going to highlight it. This is the line that is going to return it. So like something like that. So another question is, would automation make you more confident when you're going to present? I believe it does, because I don't have to think anymore around, hey, this is going to work or this is going to fail. If I don't remember which lines I'm going to write, I can still know that everything is going to run straight away because everything was scripted for me. So all fine. But demo time is not just about code. It's so much more. I already mentioned that you can automate anything that you can do with Visual Studio Code. So you can actually do more than that. So automating anything. What I can do right now is I can even play with the command palette. So I didn't type anything. I just said demo time, open command palette, and type something. So you need to toggle full screen. So it's full screen. Of course, this is something that you're not going to do live on stage, toggling all these things manually or automating that. But what you can do is I can say, hey, execute a Visual Studio Code command in order to do everything all at once. So right now, I went to full screen by just one touch, and that's just scripted. So this is typically how I start. The reason why I showed the whole Visual Studio like doc and stuff is just to show that I can go from one to another by just clicking or pressing on a button. And yes, you can also use a clicker for that. The next thing is I can run a terminal commands. So I can just say, hey, by just a click, do an npm run build. This is going to run my app. And I can do the next thing is really executing my app. So same thing, do note app.js. This was scripted, so it's using that one. So again, all of that straight away from demo time. Slides, Also something that demo time provides. So everything that you see right now is just slides that are created with Markdown. I love Markdown. It's so much easier than PowerPoint. Also, when you're showing code in some slides, you can just find and replace if you need to undo something or update something. So this is what a slide looks like. So a slide is just a theme that you basically define. But for this one, I created a special VS Code theme. And then a layout. There are a couple of layouts available. This is a section layout with a header. And this is a header that is on the slide. So if I'm going to go next to a slide, then this is what's going to be rendered. So very convenient way of presenting, I would say. Now, one of the things that I saw people fall in love with demo time is the reason that your presentation doesn't end on stage. It's a journey that you can pass on to your attendees. And then you say, huh, why? Because you as a speaker know what you're talking about, or I hope you do. So you know your slides, you know your demos. And then as an attendee, you're going to sit there and you're going to write everything down. Now what you can do is you can say to your attendees, don't write anything down, just absorb all the content that I'm going to talk about. And then afterwards, I'm going to give you the repository and you can walk through it at your own pace. Because the demo file that is there, they just need to install demo time, start it, and then they can click next, and they do the same steps all over again. And that allows them also to play with what you were presenting at that point. Typically, earlier, when I went to a conference, I had a slide deck. I created my slides, and then I had my demos. And then I shared two things. Here is my presentation. Here are my demos. And then the attendees had to figure out how everything was working. Now they don't have to figure it out because it's all scripted. And you can also put notes in there. So with a demo, you can assign a note, and then you can open the notes whenever you're going to run a demo. So that way, you're giving your attendees something that they can read and know, okay, this is what the speaker was talking about, this is what they meant, and so on. So at the end of the session, you can share one link. So this is my repository that I prepared for today. So if you just go to this URL, I will give it at the end of the session again. You will find this presentation. So you can just go clone it and start running it within demo time. And you will do the same actions that I'm just showing you. So the steps: download, clone, open it in Visual Studio Code, right, and start using it. Very simple. As an attendee, if you were in the audience, would you actually use it afterwards? So if there is an ability to download all of it, would you play with it? Or is it something, I absolutely don't care about the whole thing. If I'm just absorbing, that's enough. Okay, there's already one person that says absolutely, that's good. That's also what I think that is really valuable for people to learn at their own pace, because some people just like to do it their way. Let's move on. Come on. Yeah, okay. So nice. I talked about a lot of scripting, but you haven't seen a script yet. So what is the configuration all about? Now, the configuration has been made a lot easier lately. Before it was JSON or YAML. Nowadays, there's a config editor. So this is the configuration editor that has been created especially for your demo file. You can still go to your sources. So I can open this later, but by default, a demo consists of a title, a description. I can set a timer. So if I know that this session is going to take 60 minutes, I can set 60 minutes. The moment I'm going to start, I can see a counter at the bottom saying, okay, now you're going to start. And this is very useful when you're doing dry runs, that you want to see how long it's going to take. If you're going over time, you see the counter going up, so you know, okay, I'm 10 minutes over, so I need to skip a couple of things or remove a couple of things. Next to your general settings, there are your demos. And every demo consists of a couple of steps. So let's go more to the bottom. This is where I'm opening the configuration. One demo can consist of multiple steps. That's a very special thing because every step that is configured in a demo is going to run sequentially. Why, you would say? It's so much easier to, for instance, if I'm going to open a file or create a file, open a file and write code, I can do that all at once in one step. So let me go to start writing code. So if I'm going to start writing code, that was one of the previous ones, this is where I'm setting a theme to a light theme. So that way you're seeing my content on a light theme. If I'm going over to slides, I'm going to use a dark theme because I like dark themes better for slides. Next step that I automatically run is create. So create me a file. The file is called app.ts. And then once it's created, open me the file. So it's going to open app.ts. At that point, this is one step this is one demo. So if I pressed this, it's going to create that file and it's going to open the file. The next thing that I'm going to do is adding the content to the file. If I accidentally close this, I can open it again. And then I'm going to apply a patch. Apply a patch is like a Git patching system. So you have a snapshot and you have your content, and then it's going to add all the things. With the apply patch, you see that there's already something like insert type speed and how you want to insert things. So you have hacker typer. If I want, I can just press space, and then it looks like I'm actually typing. Very cool for webcasts. You can do it line by line, or you can do it instant so that the code is instantly there. And then you have controls over saving the file as well. So all these steps are running sequentially and all at once when running the demo. Here, the command palette one, it's executing a VS Code command. So which command it is? It's the workbench.action.show command. So from the moment you run this, it's going to open this command palette. I'm going to wait for a couple of seconds and then I'm going to type some code. So in this case, toggle full screen was the thing that I wanted to run, and then I can press enter. So let's create one. So I'm going to add a new demo. I'm going to put it straight after the thank you slide over. Thank you. There. So every demo has a name. Open GitHub Copilot. It has a demo ID. The reason why it has a demo ID is if you want to use the demo time API to trigger it from somewhere else, you can actually do that. So you can just trigger it from a web browser, or there's also a PowerPoint add-in. If you want to use PowerPoint for your slides, you can trigger a demo from the demo time add-in from PowerPoint, but then you need to turn on the API, and then you need to say which ID. By default, or in the first version, you had to manually register a demo ID. Now with the config editor, it's automatically going to create one. And then you have steps. And if you create one step, you will see that there are already a lot of them. So in this case, I'm going to let's say a new or ask Copilot chat. You can enter a message. This message means that I'm going to open Copilot chat and instantly adding the message. But I'm not going to do this. I'm going to say that I'm going to type it. And I'm going to say here, tell me a joke about Visual Studio Code. So this is now going to open Copilot, then it's going to type. And to make it fully automated, I can say press enter for me, and I can do a test run. So I can say run demo. There we go. There was still something in my, let's try it again. So let's do, apparently there was still some text in it. So why did the developer break up with Visual Studio Code? Because it kept giving them mixed signals. There should be some laughing around. But
I love that.
this is what you can get. So by just configuring a demo, you can get these things. So what does it look like behind the scenes if I'm going to view the source? So this is my YAML. You see some red squiggly lines. I'm using the beta version right now. And for YAML, the JSON schema is configured to the main version. So these two actions are not yet in the main version. So we can just ignore them. But one thing that you see here is every demo has a title and then some steps. These are the steps that you just saw within the application where you just configure them. So all of that is my script for my presentation. So
I love that, Elio. That is a super overview of demo time. I mean, where has this been for the past 10 years that I've been needing something like this?
yeah, that's something I was I was thinking about that myself. Why didn't I start thinking about it way earlier? Now I cannot live without it anymore. But back then it was like, yeah, it would have been so much more convenient to use
Absolutely.
it.
Absolutely. I mean, I was always searching for slides where I could enter code blocks. So just for example, I write a lot of Go code, and Go code, you compile it, you build it into a binary and whatnot, and it's notoriously difficult to do that on the fly. And I was always looking, somebody demoed like some slides a long time ago, and they had like small little code blocks inside the slides, and they were able to just click the run button to like compile the code on the fly. Oh, that's really cool. So it's great to see that there's now a Visual Studio Code extension to then pull this in and do this live on the fly as you're going, like script it, should we say. So that's absolutely phenomenal overview. I mean, in the chat, I mean, if you have any questions, folks, throw them in the chat. Like, we want to ask Elio, let's pick his brains for everything here, because this is a really, really cool extension. And hey, I'm in awe of this. I'm going to be using this, I think, for all of my demos going forward, because hey, I'm one of those people that do a lot of these live coding demos, and I always take a lot of it on the chin and just try lots of new things, but this just would give a lot more stability. So if you have any questions, throw them in the chat. I actually have a few questions for you, Elio.
Sure, go ahead.
First off, how can people get hold of this extension? Where do they go? Can you show us how to install this, or where you can go to find it?
Yeah, so let me
Do you mind
wrap
zooming in on
everything up.
VS Code just a little bit?
Yeah, sure. Let me do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end it. I was not yet at the end. So let me just do this. There we go. Then the whole environment is going to be reset. So I have everything I need at the same thing, or at the as I want it. So here we go. So how do you install it? So you just go to your extensions panel and then look for demo time.
Is this in stable, or is this in, where does it work best? Insiders, stable version? Which one's best?
There's the pre-release version and you have a stable version.
Super.
Both of them work. I always work on the pre-release version because yeah, I want to test out my new features. But everything what you just saw is already in the stable version. There are a couple of things that are actually new, like the integration with Engage Time. This is something new. And the backupping of your settings. So if I start my session, there will be a backup created. That's what you can see over here.
Nice.
And at the end of the session, your backup is going to be reset. So everything that you do during your session is going to be reset. Then that way you can make sure that, yeah, I like to work in a dark team, but when you're going to present, it's better to use a light team. If you're changing that team, you can just do it within your settings or within demo time. Demo time does it all for you. But at the end of your session, you want to probably have everything in the same font size and so on, so you can override everything all again.
I love that.
You will see that there are two things. So you have a team as well. Just using the team because I like the yellow branding around it. But it has nothing, or there's no need for it in order to start using it. So demo time. There's also websites. There is not a lot of documentation on the page anymore because it became so big that it needed to have its own website. So if we are going to open this, and let me put my browser over to this window. If I can drag and drop, come on, mouse.
This is the live demo portion.
Yeah. Yeah, for some reason it's stuck.
No worries. If you have a link, we can drop the link in the chat for the folks. No, that's really cool. I mean, I have a checklist for everything that I sort of change before I go on stage and do my demos, and changing from dark theme to light theme is absolutely one of them. And I'm sure folks on here may or may not have seen some of my videos on the YouTube channel. I always get good comments on the light theme. People in YouTube don't like light theme, apparently. So, but in person, it's you need it. So super to have this. This is really cool.
I see why. Okay, yeah, go ahead. I know what is wrong here. So
there we go.
Demo time. Show. I was in full screen mode, and apparently, if you're in full screen mode, then you cannot just drag and drop.
You're on a Mac, aren't you? It's like a different desktop.
Yeah, indeed. So if you're going to demotime.show, that's where you can find all of the documentation. So here is a quick overview of what it can do. But then if you're going to go to the actions part, all of the actions are explained over here. That's where you will find out how you can work with files. Snippets is also something that is supported. If you have a couple of things that you do all over again, you can just start doing it there. There's a slides part. So all of the slides are explained, which themes are there. You can use custom themes. Still more features. There's even an MCP server because MCPs are so cool these days. So you can basically ask the MCP server, can you start creating me a demo from this? And then hopefully it gives you a good starting point for your demos.
Oh, love that. That's prompted me for a question, Elio. Is that going to be published into a registry at all? So like the public registry to download in VS Code. So I know the GitHub released the registry, didn't they, this week? For the MCP registry. That'd be cool if you can get that into there. Into
yeah,
like
I will actually write that down because that's a good one.
That'd be great to have in there. Love that. I do have a question based off all of this. So this is obviously open source, as a lot of these things are. What do you need help with? What can people help you with on this? What's your roadmap? Is that public for folks to look for?
Yeah, so right now, everything is open source. Go to GitHub. The link is also there at the top. So Ahrefs and then VS Code demo time. That's where you will find it. What I'm looking for is people starting to use it. It's a new way of using and doing live presentations. That's one thing. So yeah, trying to get familiar with it. feedback is always appreciated. There's also a Discord channel that you can find on the website. It's over here. If you join that one, you can give feedback directly there. There is no roadmap, or not right now, because it's just live on the fly. When I need something or people ask me something, then I will start developing it the moment I have time. So right now I'm fully working on engage time to include it within demo time, so that you can do more of like a timeline feature, so that I can see when I started doing what during the session, so that you have more analytics around a session that you're doing, something that I want to implement. So that's one of the features that I'm starting to work on. In the major version that is going, or in the next version that's going to come, is a full rewrite and a full change of project structure. I went from a monorepo, or I went from different projects to one monorepo. So that's also something very cool. I split up the VS Code extension, so that there's now a VS Code extension, and I have my web views as a separate project. Before it was all included. Now there's also a common folder, so that, or a common repository. So if people are starting to use it, if they have feedback, that's one thing I'm looking for. People that say, "Hey, I have a really cool idea for it. I want to implement it." You're also very welcome to do that. So as it's open, you're free to fiddle around with it and come up with new features for it. So to say,
Super. Absolutely love that one. I have one more question after, but first there's somebody in the chat, Adam Hill, who has popped a question in. Quite a good question, actually. Any hope for a Mac Keynote-based transfer back and forth, maybe using URL monikers? Yep. That's
yeah, indeed. There is, unfortunately, for PowerPoint there is. And let me go to integrations. So first of all, if you go to PowerPoint, you will see that there's like
just a little bit more.
Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome.
For PowerPoint, there's an add-in. So it's called the demo time add-in. And what it's basically doing is you need to specify the URL, which is the API. You have your command ID, and then the moment you save it, and the moment you're going to go to that particular slide in presentation mode, it's automatically going to trigger PowerPoint to open. So that's one of those things that you can do there. And what you have then is in the actions, there are external apps. You can also open PowerPoint from there. So action open PowerPoint is going to automatically open the PowerPoint instance that you had open already. So that means that you can go from your PowerPoint to a demo over to PowerPoint again. Now, coming to the question, can we do it for Keynote? Yes, we can for Keynote. So we can do action open Keynote. So it's going to open Keynote at that particular slide that you had open. So you can go to Keynote there. The problem is with Keynote that there is no add-in capabilities. So what you need to do there is make a clickable element. That's the one thing that I found. Adam, you're talking about AppleScript. I haven't found anything yet. So if you have experience with that and you know how to do it within AppleScript, that would be great. But I haven't found a way to go from my slides in Keynote automatically to my demo. The only way that I found was by, by adding an element. On that element, I'm creating a link, which is the VS Code URL handler. This is also something demo time allows you to do. And then you specify command run by ID and then the ID of the demo. That way, you're also opening demo time at that particular demo. So that's at least a somewhat automated way. You don't have to manually switch screens. You just click on a button and then you're going over. So if anyone knows of how you can automate this, so the moment you open a slide, that would be amazing. But I haven't found it yet. And I'm not an Apple Keynote user, so this is the only thing that I could figure out myself to make it work.
Super. Thanks for asking that one. I mean, you covered the part on PowerPoint. That was the other half of the question for me. I guess, well, at the moment, we don't actually have any other questions in the chat. Any sort of final words? I think we've got 14 minutes left. We don't have to use them all, but it'd be great if we can make the most of it. So is there anything else on demo time that you want to tell us about? Anything else, or is that you covered? What do you want people to do? What's your call to action, Elio?
My call to action is start using it, start sharing the usage. I would also love to see people using it. Like last year, I think it was used at OpenAI Dev Days, where basically somebody asked me or said to me, "Hey, it's used at OpenAI Dev Days." So it's very fun. Advertisements. I don't have a pro account, but if you click there, it's live on stage. 100,000 of views already. Where somebody from OpenAI started using demo time back when it was there, but there was not a lot of advertisements around demo time. So that's now what I'm trying to do. Trying to make people fall in love with it. So. Yeah, if you have articles, if you have experience, or whatever, I love to read all about it. I love to see all of that, and I can also showcase you. So there's like community articles already there. Like there's one article from somebody that used AppleScript in order to open their browser to the right tab. That guy apparently is also working on a Chrome extension, so that they can go from Chrome back to VS Code and so forth. So that's amazing. And I just saw the chat. I will 100% be using it tomorrow at Austin VS Code Days. So that's pretty cool. That's awesome. So
absolutely. Very cool. Very cool. No, I like this. I like this a lot. I'm definitely going to be using this, and I will 100% give you some credit right in there as well, because this is a phenomenal project to be working with. So actually, on that one, if you want to get hold of Elio, I believe you've got your handle on or at least your website on your StreamYard tile here. So if you do want to get in contact with him, if you want to give him any shout outs, anything like that, please do send it his way. Put issues on the repo, star it, fork it, you know it. Let's get with it. So with that, I think we can wrap up this stream. And our call to action from the YouTube and the VS Code team side is we would love it if you enjoyed this, if you learned something, give us a follow, give us a star on here. And of course, don't forget VS Code Dev Days. Find VS Code Dev Days wherever you are. As we see, we've got some folks here in the chat who are going to be using this at VS Code Dev Days. So you can go ahead and find out where they are. They're awesome. There's so much information in these sessions, and there's so much going on in the product and around what we're doing. So with that, a massive thank you to Elio for showing off demo time. It's brilliant to see the work that you're doing, and it's brilliant to see the community, everybody else rallying around. So with that, I think we can wrap up. Thank you ever so much, everybody. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.